ask in my organization, because we've had a situation where something is no longer on our staff.
Then so we're going to start.
Mr. Roundtree?
Yes, sir. Good evening, folks, Danvers residents. Tonight is our regular scheduled HRIC meeting. We will begin. I don't have any announcements other than I'd like to read our statement. The Danvers Human Rights and Inclusion Committee, HRIC, is a cohesive task force against intolerance, bigotry, and oppression. HRIC partners with police, school administration, interfaith leaders, and several community partners on events and in discussions to create a positive atmosphere for an inclusive, multicultural community. We stand against hatred and support those who experience marginalization due to their age, gender, race, ethnicity, religious beliefs, sexual orientation, citizenship status, or socioeconomic status. With that, Mr. Graham will read the Native American acknowledgement.
In keeping with our values of equality and inclusion, and to support those who experience marginalization, this evening's meeting will begin with a Native American land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that this meeting is taking place on the ancestral homelands of the Naumkeag and Agawam peoples. Historical evidence shows that the Naumkeag and Agawam were peaceful in their relationship with European settlers. However, their population depleted rapidly due to smallpox and other pandemic Old World diseases unknowingly introduced by earlier European colonizers to the East Coast. To honor the Naumkeag and Agawam communities, along with many other indigenous peoples who inhabited these lands now known as Danvers, Mass., and who may be lost to history, let us take a moment to recognize the past, present, and future of indigenous peoples and reflect on our roles within settler colonialism. We acknowledge these material grounds we have collectively gathered upon and support the resilience and strength that indigenous peoples have shown worldwide.
Thank you. With that, we would like to approve the minutes for April 29th. And Michelle, what was the date of March?
20th.
March 20th. Do we have a motion? Or any questions?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right. Citizens' queries. This is where any member that wants to, anybody wants to speak that's here tonight. So if we have anything you'd like to say, bring up before the committee. We'll give you at least 3 minutes, and if you're nice, we'll give you maybe a few more minutes. Yes, please get up to the podium, state your name.
Hello, my name is Soleil Velasquez. I came here tonight to present the funds that we raised at our recent Pride Not Prejudice event, co-sponsored by State Representative Sally Cairns and the Youth Subcommittee to elect Gardner Trask. Twisted Fate Brewing graciously hosted this fundraiser, which featured queer-centric local artist work. Not only did the event raise $577 for your committee's upcoming Pride festivities, but more importantly, it united residents of all ages, fostering a vibrant atmosphere filled with art, meaningful conversations, and a shared vision for a united Danvers. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Now, Mr. Trask, is Sally coming? Should we wait, or she's not?
Go ahead, I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, if you'd like to say something, would you just wait? Okay.
No, I think Sully covered it, and
Yep.
I'm be
Thank
Right
you.
there. Where's their treasurer? Right over here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Great event.
Okay. Any other citizens' queries? All right. How about liaison reports? Mr. Crane, anything at all? I'm going to speak because I was at the meeting last,
Sure, yeah.
but,
We'll probably talk about some of the same things.
yes, that's fine.
So first of all, it's nice to be here. I think, as I say, Paul attends most of our school committee meetings, and he was at Monday. And I think he will probably talk about the fact it's a vote I'm proud of, is that we have agreed to accept school choice students starting in the school year 25-26. Based on presentations by Dan earlier, it'll amount to, we think we have slots for about 30 students. They'll be spread over the non-elementary grades. It just works out that that's where the space is. So we're expecting to have perhaps 5 students each in grades 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So, and I will say, when we first talked about this and presented this to the town, we received a lot of emails from, comparatively, a lot of emails from parents who were asking us to vote against it. And as I said at the meeting, it was somewhat disappointing because the subtext seemed to have very little to do with education and very much to do with where the students might be coming from. But anything that we've looked at in terms of other districts, and the impact is, it's just like any other student or students coming to the district. And I think that if we told people, hey, we're going to have 30 more students from Danvers coming to the schools, no one would have questioned it. But it does say something about, again, where we are and the work that this committee does and has to continue to do, and the work that we're going to keep doing in the schools. And just before I came here tonight, we had a subcommittee meeting of our equity committee. And part of that, we were presented with what the basics of what's going to be the next 5-year strategic plan. And that should be presented in full to us in June. But we sort of had a bit of a preview tonight. And I can tell you that, one of the pillars upon which this plan is being built is the commitment to a safe and equitable education for all of our students. And then when you look deeper into the strategic plan and what things we mean to accomplish, you'll see that it's baked in, the notion of equity and social and emotional learning in a positive way are baked into what we want to accomplish. So it's going to be an important part of our strategic plan. And I look forward to being able to, when we present that in June, I hope that the citizens of this town will be pleased with what we'll be trying to do. So unless anyone has questions, that's my very brief report for the evening.
Thank you, Eric.
Sure.
Are there any questions for Eric?
No.
Eric, why don't you stay up there, because I think I'll just probably give my liaison report now, too. I was there, I really enjoyed it, and I can't say enough for what I think is a positive move by the school committee and the district regarding school choice. Because I think, like any other town in America, once you try to change something or maybe change course a little bit, sometimes you get some pushback. Change is hard. This is a very positive thing, I believe. I believe it's extremely positive, and I believe it's going to be. You'll see it over the period of years that these children move from middle school right through high school, and people are going to realize in neighboring towns really what we have in the system, and it's a good way to sell the town in the system too. If you're looking,
I think so.
yeah.
Yeah.
The other things, 2 things. They had a great presentation about arts and music. I want to mention that, and how I believe the theme was this is another way to encourage people to look at our school system, whether they want to move in from outside through school choice. But I'm of the conviction or the belief that there are some towns who don't really have what we have. And it doesn't have to be necessarily tied in with athletics, but it could be tied in with extracurriculars or things of those lines. When I moved in this town, here in this town, I'm not sure what the band does now, but if you wanted to travel the world, you had your children get involved with the band, and you could be a chaperone, and you went everywhere. So it's just one of those things I happen to notice, and they continue to be a wonderful group, but the arts also. So that, I think the point was made, I believe, you might have to correct me, Eric, that they were looking for more of a full-time director, too, to help coordinate both those programs.
I think the, I'm going to say the word subtext a lot tonight. I think that what they're looking, what the subtext of all of Alex's presentation was that the arts are sometimes overlooked, and they really need to be seen as, something special. That department needs the chance to coordinate together. And I think what they're looking to do is build something that's cohesive right from kindergarten through senior year, with opportunities at every level for students to grow and develop in the arts. And as I said that night, most students need something to connect them to the school. So for some, it's the athletics. For me, when I was in school, it was the audiovisual stuff. I was a TV nerd. I would be the one wheeling the carts down to the classroom and announcing ball games. That kept me totally engaged in school. And for others, it's chorus or choir or one of the vocal groups, or being in a show, being in the drama. For some, it's DECA. And the more that we can provide something that grips a student and brings him or her in, the more likely that's going to feed over to their other classes. They're just going to be a better student, a happier student, and a more successful one.
Absolutely. Yes,
Bill has a question.
Bill.
Was the superintendent involved in this?
I'm sorry?
Was the superintendent involved in this?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, he recommended it to us.
Good.
Assuming by
That
this you
doesn't
mean the
surprise
school
me.
choice, I assume. Yeah. No, he brought it forward to us. We have typically, in years past, not accepted school choice students really from a space standpoint. But now we have the space. And we also found that a number of Danvers students use school choice, and the town pays $5,000 per student. So we thought to ourselves, well, it's a win-win in every respect. The students who come here are going to get a great school system. Our students are going to get a chance to meet other people from other towns. And we also can even the playing field financially a little bit. So I see no negatives to it.
The other thing I was going to mention, Mary Beth Very, who's chair of of DEEP,
Yes.
gave a very, very thorough presentation what DEEP's role is now and has been for, I want to say, decades now. And I thought that was enlightening. And they have even helped us in times when we were first starting out doing events. And so I thought her presentation was outstanding, very thorough, and a little bit eye-opening at times to what they try to do.
It's a labor of love for her, and I said it, she's the heart and soul of that group. It gets a lot of help, but, every group has kind of the person who spins the wheels and get it going, and definitely that's Mary Beth. We're very, very thankful for her.
Absolutely. That's my report out, okay? Lieutenant Sullivan, anything regarding police business and not Pride?
Mr. Chairman, for non-Pride police activities, although it was a fun day, yesterday, Chief Lovell, Captain Sanborn, and I were once again invited to be guests of the Superintendent's Office for the ADL's annual Law and Education Day at the Kernwood. I'm not a golfer. Kernwood Country Club. In Salem. So it was, I've gone for the past 3 or 4 years. It's a great morning where ADL gives some presentations. DA Tucker spoke about things here locally. A couple of police departments, Marblehead and Swampscott, talked about some of the incidents that had occurred in their cities and how they addressed them. And then there were some great presentations by the Swampscott School Department on some of the programs that they are running for anti-Semitism and hate and bullying, anti-bullying programs. So we thank the superintendent for inviting us, because otherwise we wouldn't be there.
Okay. And guess what, Rob? You're next up with the Pride report out.
All right, so for Pride Police reporting, So I wanted to start with just a thank you to our planning team for this year. Mr. Chairman Paul, I don't know if the amount of work that you put into this, the Pride team, we've met every 2 weeks in person and remotely, but Paul and I probably talk multiple times a week and have met a few times a week to go over everything. You've given so much of your time to help move this forward, and it wouldn't have gotten to the spot that it is without all of your assistance. And he keeps us all on track, that's for sure. And the planning team, Pastor Douglas, Gabrielle, Reverend Caro, Michelle, Cynthia Bowen, Linda and Dick Donovan, and Amy Martin and from the library. So we've done a ton of work, and we think you all will be very happy with the event we put together this year. It does mirror what we've done for the past 2 to 3 years. We've changed a few names around and jazzed it up a little bit, really. But the first, we're going to have 2 events this year. The first event will be on the 5th. We're calling it the Kickoff to Pride. That'll be at the police station. If you remember, we used to do a flag raising at Town Hall and the police station and a Pride party all on the same day, and it's just too much to get all of that done. So the Kickoff to Pride will be at 5 o'clock on June 5th. It's a Thursday evening at the police station. And even that's grown a little bit over the past couple of years. So we'll do a flag raising. We will have, I believe, pizza, music, and Pride-related swag and activities. We're going to set up the community art collage that we did last year at Pride, where the police officers have different pieces of colored paper where people can write their message for Pride, and as they hang it on this board throughout the day, it kind of grows into a giant collage by the end of the event. So we'll start that on Thursday. Anyone who writes anything will bring that to the real event on Saturday. Saturday is the main event at Town Hall, kicking off at 12 o'clock. This year, instead of a keynote speaker, we're having a guest of honor. David Mills will be our guest of honor for the evening. He's confirmed his attendance. And the town manager, the new town manager, let me know yesterday that she will be attending both events. So it's kind of an opportunity for us to thank an outgoing member of the select board. At the same time, we welcome a new town manager to our events. I'm also told that Senator Lovely and Representative Kearns will be speaking as well. We've always just walked from Town Hall, all 250 feet of it from Town Hall to the library. But this year it's going to be called a Pride Walk. So we're going to jazz it up with some bubbles and pinwheels and streamers. And David will be our Grand Marshal. I've already been set loose on Amazon, so I have a Grand Marshal sash that's actually a Progress Pride flag. So I'm hoping he'll let me put that on. I'm not completely convinced.
Trying to talk him into it.
Yes, yep. And we'll have some music to go along with our short walk. He wasn't able to be with us last year at Pride, and he does really enjoy to see the police officers' involvement with Pride. And I explained how last year Chief Lovell asked us to figure out a way that we could be even more involved than just walking around, and that's how that art project came about. But he didn't get a chance to do that last year, so we thought we would drive him. We've got a little, it's called a Polaris. It's like a golf cart, so we can get him from point A to point B. Paul is driving the Polaris, yes. We'll drive him right down to there so he can be the first person to make his message for Pride, and we'll hang that on the board. We hope to be there by 1 o'clock. And we have the same DJ company from last year. What we did differently for this year as far as the keynote speaker is we asked Miss Diamond Wigfall, who she's been our resident drag queen for the past couple of years, if she would come back to the event and if she could deliver a keynote speech. And we're going to have her present that from the gazebo instead of at Town Hall. It's more of a festive type of a location and atmosphere. And that's going to be at 1:30. And then she will do the first drawing for our raffle prizes and let the crowd know about if they buy tickets, what they could possibly win. And she will be doing Drag Story Hour at 2 o'clock. Our food is provided by the same food truck we had last year, Butter Your Biscuits. The first 100 people will get free food, appetizer, meal, and drink. Butter Your Biscuits, their owners have worked just amazingly with us. They're so generous. We had enough money in our budget to get 75 meals, and they've contributed an extra 25 to get us to 100 free meals. So we'll have at our HRIC table, we'll have tickets to give out, and the first 100 people can choose from the menu they provided is empanadas, fried macaroni and cheese, balls, biscuits, sandwiches, Caribbean rice bowls, winner, chicken dinner, chicken and waffles, and then water, Coke, Sprite, and Diet Coke. We also have the same pastry company last year, Kim Gregory's Pure Pastry. She is out of Beverly, one-woman show, just her and the chickens in the backyard, get the whole thing going. And the chickens are where the source of all the items that have eggs. That's where the eggs come from. But we will have snickerdoodle sandwich cookies, chocolate chunk cookies with hints of maple, vanilla cupcakes, and dark chocolate cupcakes. We will have options that are dairy-free, gluten-free, peanut, nut, sesame, and coconut-free as well. So lots of options in those. And those will be, those aren't for sale, they're just free. And we got the same order as last year. Unfortunately, we had a few leftovers, which came back to my office, so hopefully this year there aren't any leftovers at all. I mentioned for attendees, I think at the remote meeting that we had a few weeks ago or last month, that this year the team really focused more on, in addition to having a celebration, we're focused on connection, visibility, and access to resources for the LGBTQ plus community. So we reached out to a lot of additional organizations that haven't been with us in the past year to see if they'd be interested in tabling or just providing some resources to the community to give out. I think we're happiest or more thrilled about having HealthQ come. So if people don't know who HealthQ is, they are a healthcare provider. They're located in the Cumming Center in Beverly. There are lots of people who think if you're looking for a LGBTQ plus specific healthcare provider, your closest choice might be Fenway Health. You've got to go all the way to Boston. People might not realize that there's a smaller but more local resource. So they will be having a table. In addition, for resources, we'll have Mass Behavioral Health, NAGLI, Nell Perkins Mental Health Services. She's a private clinician, and also Northeast ARC emailed me today that they're putting a team together to have a Pride table as well. And we are still working on securing more people for resources. Today, Northeast Legal Aid stopped by. They won't be able to have a table, but they dropped off a giant bag full of brochures that we could have at our resource table. In Rights in Massachusetts, it covers things like legal protections against discrimination, what to do if you experience discrimination, how to change your legal name in Massachusetts, birth certificate, passport, driver's license, those types of things, and how they can help people access those services. So we'll have a stack of these to hand out, as well as all of the other businesses that can't make it in person. We've offered a space at our table to get their information out to people who might be looking to be in touch with them. The tables so far that we know are coming are Copper Dog, Paper Asylum, Rivers to Roads, Tattoo, Soulfully Nourishing, Elephant in the Room, Texas Roadhouse, our very own HRIC folks, Maple Street Church, North Shore UUs. The library will have their button machine up and running and back again. That's always popular with the kids. Our famous swag table, and then we'll also have the police community art project. For raffle prizes, so far we have prizes, baskets, or gift cards from Cherry Street Fish Market, Nine Elm, Craft Kitchen, Natural Dog, Rivers to Roads Tattoo, Soulfully Nourishing, Elephant in the Room, Kettle Bones, Texas Roadhouse, Oasis Salon, and French Press. And we also hope to have a number of artists there. I know Shilpa did a great job reaching out to local artists last time. I always get this wrong. It's either zines or zines. I never say it right. 22 zines. It's zines. Wesley is the artist, will be coming, and we're also reaching out to a group of young artists that we met at an event a few weeks ago that just had great work, and we thought they might be interested in displaying it at Pride and having a great time. I think, the rolling raffle, I think the same thing we're going to do this year. Instead of pulling all the prizes at the end, depending on how many we have, we'll determine every 15 to 20 minutes, pull another prize, and that money is usually donated to Danvers High School Prism for their club.
I have a question, even though I'm on the committee, is there somebody who's gonna be taking photographs or videoing anything that day? Did we locate somebody to do that?
So in the past, we have hung signs that ask people not to photograph in video. I think the comfort level is different. You might have people who are there, they might not be out at work or at home, and they might not be comfortable with it. I was, a few weeks ago, I was at like a piano sing-along type place, Marie's Crisis Cafe in New York. You don't need to spend $500 on Broadway. It's free to get in, and you've got Broadway quality singers right there, right next to you in the crowd. But they had this, and they were strict about it. Like if you even held the camera up to take a selfie or something, if you could possibly have somebody else in it. So
I was thinking just of the walk, I guess, because that's something different and it is, dynamic, something going on.
There are a lot of Pride organizations around it, like the other cities and towns that host Pride events. In their flyers, they use their group marching or like the Hamilton Wedding Picnic. It's since we first started our event, we always hung those signs. And I've never really heard our members or attendees like strongly one way or the other on that. It helps to get, it's great to show people having a good time together and enjoying it, to get our message out.
Well, yeah, so I think since there's a concern about that, you're not going to sign in or to do it, although if media comes, big if.
Yep.
There's, there are times where people would just say, please do not photograph me, you know what I mean? And people see a camera, they can choose to not be in the picture or not, you don't have to get releases or anything, so. All right, well.
And we could also add, like, if we take, like, the police, we're always open to being photographed, like, so,
Okay.
yes, so, they're,
You're gonna, as a police officer's gonna be marching?
yeah, so if, we'll be there, and I'm trying to figure out a way that I can actually read a book with Miss Diamond at a story hour. So I need to find a good police Pride book and see if she'll let me do that. But, if people that are okay with it, that would be like, so maybe if we did have someone taking pictures, as long as we have someone's permission and we weren't making people uncomfortable, that would be a great way to get the message out. And the flyer. We're all waiting anxiously for a flyer. Michelle and Shilpa did an outstanding job on putting the flyer together. It went through a couple of revisions.
It's not doing media, I think, anyway, because who knows how long it's going to sit in town hall, and.
Hopefully it'll be done by tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So,
I know that, I saw that on the library's Facebook page, they had to save the date already, so, using just the color, so there's stuff's going out, which is good.
yes. So I brought I met with Jen yesterday and brought her a copy of the flyer and sent her all the digital copies as well. And then we are meeting tomorrow. So hopefully we can have approval to have those sent out. So once we have that approval, we can all share them with all of our contacts, and then we can have some copies made up so we can bring them to the businesses around town and see if they will hang them. And I think for looking towards next year, I was talking with Shilpa, and one of the things we should probably consider just doing early on, it takes a long time to confirm people. So maybe we should look at in future years just sending out once we have that date, save the date, and then follow up later with all of the particular details. That might be helpful.
What's the time for Saturday nights?
For Saturday?
Thursday nights?
Thursday, 5 o'clock at the police station.
5.
Yes.
Karen?
Thank you, Paul. And so, Lieutenant Sullivan, I just want to underscore what Michelle was saying, because it was a question I had in terms of coverage. And just as you talked about this extraordinary event, I remember last year's literally this morning as I walked through Endicott Park, I was wearing my leggings from Elephant in the Room. I have my police table pride ducks that I greet me every morning when I wake up and start the day. And so I know what this year's, compared to last year's, like, it's going big, right? And so in that bigness, there is also power. And there are also stories which can help to change narratives. And so I think that I'm as you mentioned these signs, I'm remembering the signs. It is also possible to have alternative signs, which is this event is being photographed and documented. And if you don't want to be photographed, right, come to the HRIC table, right? And somebody, there can be some little very kind of discreet sign, like a bracelet or a pin or something that the photographer would know to look for, and a signed photographer, obviously not necessarily the press. And I've just photographed an event recently, 2 weeks ago, at a federal courthouse that was very sensitive, and it became clear to me as a photographer who didn't want to be photographed. So somebody who knows what they're doing is going to be sensitive to that. And then the first thought I had was just, we're really grateful when DCAT shows up for the MLK event in January. Granted, it's very, it's a little easier to be on a tripod and in a stationary space. And this is a somewhat mobile and agile event. But I also think there are some ways in which to document this event that are not invasive to those who may be coming, and looking for some anonymity. But there's some really sort of significant things happening that could be documented publicly, I think, without too much concern. So that might just be something to kind of look into and discuss with DCAT.
I wanted to add sort of is that there are so many people out there who are allies that when you've got a group of people walking, it's not like there are 4 guys coming out of a bar, in the past where they had to be very concerned about their identities. And so I think if you have a walk, and it does get to be a kind of a critical mass, you've got all ages, you've got a mix of people, and you wouldn't necessarily feel like this was targeting just a gay population who wouldn't want to be recognized, I think. So, well, I don't know if DCAT ever leaves the studio,
Sure.
Yeah, we're here right now, but something like that would be good. I know that I went to an event, I'm not even, should I be up there? I'm just.
You've got a mic in front of you.
You got a mic. Just pull the mic over.
Just use
Pull the mic over.
talking
You're
to the
on this
microphone,
committee that we're discussing, Michelle.
Yeah, when I take the minutes, I say that I went to an event, a protest in Beverly, and I was kind of appalled that there was no Salem News there. There was nobody there. So I took photos and sent them through the Submit News feature of the Salem News, and they published them. So that may be the case here. I'll try to reach out, but we can discuss this. If there are a few people in the committee, whomever can do it, it would be. I think it's definitely good to have this out there post event.
I bring up DCAT now. Do we want to notify DCAT, because I think they've been there when we've raised the flag.
I'll be doing that when I do publicity.
All right, but I believe DCAT has actually shown up.
Great.
And
But if
Go ahead.
respectfully, if DCAT is filming, I don't know if they are not going to film certain people that don't want to be filmed, so that might be a little sensitive. I think where a photographer could, and I guess my perspective is a little different. I kind of resonate with Lieutenant Sullivan, just my past experience working with LGBT youth, which is different because a lot of them are not out to their parents. You would never take any photos, but I don't see any problem with a blurred crowd shot or something from afar showing the numbers of people, but you just don't know where people are in their journey, and some people don't realize they're being photographed. It can be very tricky, but I think a beautiful crowd shot from across the street with no visible faces could give give the impression of like this, look at this event, wow, what's going on there, that sort of thing. And then the closer-ups of the parade, those are officials that are giving permission. That, I think,
Like David,
Together.
David.
Yeah, the speakers, so the podium, the speakers at Town Hall, the
Right.
people at
The,
Town Hall raising the flag.
What we've
Get the
done in the
close-up
past,
images, yeah.
I know we've done this, after the event, actually, we'd all get on the steps in front of the town hall and take a
Yes,
mass
yeah.
picture.
And we are all,
Yeah, so-
officials, so we, yeah.
You didn't have to get up if you didn't want to, obviously, that's one of it, but we can follow through with that, I believe, the best way to make sure we respect everybody's right to privacy.
Yep. And we have another planning meeting coming up next
Yes.
Thursday.
Yeah, the 20th, I figure I'll have some information
Yes.
for you by then.
I'm waiting to contact DCAT with the flyer so they can post it on their events, part of their daily run. I think we're going to have that hopefully by the end of the week, early Monday. I hope we do.
I have a meeting tomorrow with Jen,
Okay, great.
so I hope to have that. I don't know if anything she's looking for revisions, so if they're
Yeah.
small and quick, I can get them done within a couple of hours.
Yes.
I don't have access to the flyer, it's just, you've got to go to Shelpa.
Okay.
Any other,
We have the banner.
the banner? Go ahead.
Oh, that's you.
Wait a minute, who's chair here? Okay, we got the banner. It was finally designed. We had 3 choices. They were very similar. I think each banner said the same thing, but it was just a matter of color coordination and how we wanted to space things. And I looked at it, and I think, I know Lieutenant Rob looked at the 3 choices. Did we come to the final conclusion? Was it number 1?
No.
Oh.
Mix. It was a mix of, so
We don't,
we asked for some, like the letters to be like a rainbow color, and it looked
Oh.
great on paper, but we worried about driving under it and seeing what it said as you went by. So,
when you sent me the 3 choices yesterday or the day before, those were the final 3, weren't they?
then it became a version of, we took out the rainbow from the top, but put Progress Pride flags on the bottom,
Right.
but then just had solid colors for the,
What was the background color? Do you remember?
it's
those?
white.
Oh, it was white.
Background color with different color lettering. I think there's green, there's purple, there's red.
Okay, so we're all set. It's going to press?
Yep.
Okay, good, good. We're in good shape with that. And anything else on the banner?
I don't think so. And whenever we have it, we'll get that over to Electric Light and
Yeah, right.
we'll hang it up.
Okay, excellent. And I want to, anything else, Sarah? Anyone else on the committee? I want to just go back and, because they didn't say enough, I want to thank Gardner Trask and his group for their donation to our, because we really work hard to try to get some donations without having it consume all our time, which can happen. But I went to the event, and I really enjoyed myself at the event. You always see a lot of people that you haven't seen maybe for a while, and I think we had enough at the event to have a quorum, to have a meeting.
That's
from
true.
our committee.
Yeah.
So it was fun. It was great. It was a lot of fun. Food was good. We enjoyed it. And thank you very much. Though I don't think you understand how much it means to us, because we're going out and trying to get as many people involved in this particular program. Not just people that are maybe LGBTQ, but people that understand what this whole program is about. So, thank you. With that, I'm going to turn the next segment over to Johan for an update on the Juneteenth report, which is, I think, it's going to be on the 17th. It can't be on the 19th because that's a national holiday. So we couldn't get that date, which is normal, but it'll be on the 17th. It'll be at 2 p.m. in front of Town Hall, and why don't you take it
Yeah.
from here?
So as Paul said, Juneteenth is going to be facilitated by the North Shore Juneteenth organization, who has done it in prior years. It's on June 17th at Town Hall, 2 p.m. The program is pretty much the same as it was last year. There is a speaker that the Juneteenth organization will be bringing with them. They're also bringing the they're bringing a poet. I'm not 100% sure if it's Michelle La Poetica, but I would think it might be her because I've seen them traveling with her. She is the first poet laureate for Lynn, Massachusetts. And then there's also a singer scheduled. Last year, they sang Lift Every Voice and Sing. So I would expect the similar type of program this year. We did pull the program from last year, and we were able to utilize the graphics from that in order to replicate another program for this year. As you guys know, it's kind of in the middle of the workday for people, so it's a small, close-knit group. Really nice thing to attend. So if you happen to be working from home that day, feel free to pop over. I even brought, it must be a Tuesday, because I think the
It's
19th
Tuesday.
is a Thursday.
Yeah.
I brought my son, who doesn't sit very still, and he was able to get through it, so, and he got in the picture. So I think all of about maybe 45 minutes for the program, and it's still very meaningful. So if you can make it, definitely pop by.
Yeah, we've been in touch with, her name skips my mind.
Nicole McLean.
Nicole McLean. And they basically set the whole program up.
Correct.
And
They facilitated.
that, they did that last year through Jasmine. But it's our program, we're proud of it, and we want to make sure we celebrate it.
And also, if I can thank, because Shilpa's not here, I really want to thank Shilpa for digging up, and also thank you for digging up the program, the live program, the physical program that you had, and then for the folks that had the digital content, I appreciate everyone chiming in and quickly responding so that we can get the program going. So thank you.
Okay, we should hold on to this. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
Okay, I'll keep it. Are there any other questions about Juneteenth? Mr. Trask?
Oh, I just noticed if the event is the 17th, that's also the evening of a select board member,
Say-
select board meeting.
Yeah.
I wonder if you might want to send someone under new business just to mention it from the Human Rights and Inclusion Committee.
Oh, okay. 6 o'clock?
6:30?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
It'd be nice to,
one of, after the event, someone can come in, or a group of our folks. I mean, I'll guarantee I'll be there. then. Sure,
Okay.
it's good. We'll make a note of that. Are there anything else about Juneteenth anyone would like to bring up? We're sort of in an open meeting here, so don't feel shy. We're not, I'm not going to go to strict citizens' queries and things like that. Plus, if you want to raise your hand, donate some more money, go ahead. Money would be good. All right, now, the next item of business, I believe, is Sarah, Dr. Guadeo O'Brien, is going to make a presentation regarding what she and Charles Desmond, and I got involved a little bit about the work that we're trying to do to reorganize what used to be our basic scholarship program. And we're trying to broaden it out. And with that, I'll turn it over to Sarah.
Yeah. So this is a draft of a proposal and a thought. And I do have some hard copies if anybody's interested in a hard copy. I have some here. But the idea is to think about transitioning or delegating partial or complete HRIC funds into a grant system to be awarded to community members who intend to fulfill the mission of the HRIC. So the idea is spreading the message and also empowering others. Often, I said in my email to the committee last night, I know I work in the education world, and one of the common questions I get are, what can I do to help? What can I do? And sometimes to be able to answer that is the challenge, and to be able to provide a connecting link to how others can help fulfill a single mission. So the idea is that this grant system could be provided to Danvers community members, such as teachers, administrators, students, community members, members of the recreation, really anybody who is part of the Danvers community, to support projects and initiatives that promote justice and inclusivity within the town. The idea is that it's visible. How do we see it? How do we see it happening? This grant could empower these individuals and organizations, encouraging innovative approaches to social change, inclusivity, and cultural awareness. So by using a mini grant model, this committee could sponsor the community to fulfill the mission in unique ways that will directly impact the people of Danvers. So thinking about what is the mission, if we were to propose this opportunity to communities of Danvers, what would be the purpose? So the purpose would be, how could you lead an initiative or activity in Danvers to spread inclusivity and cultural awareness? How can you support the mission of this committee by amplifying marginalized voices and or celebrating the identity of citizens in the community? So the idea would be that it would be an application process that would be submitted first to this hypothetical grant committee, then to the larger committee. The idea is that starting it would start once during the inaugural year, thinking about September 15th, 2025, to be the first application deadline. After the initial review, all eligible applications could be put to a vote at the January HRIC meeting. So some notes and thoughts about it is thinking about an amount. What would be a manageable amount to offer as an opportunity? Some of the initial thoughts were thinking around $750, which is a pretty typical mini grant amount. That's, of course, up for conversation. As well as the very important secondary goal, underlying goal of this grant, is to immerse the committee's mission in the community through opportunities and on-the-ground impact. So on the second page of the proposal is a draft of an application. If there was a community member who wanted to apply to receive this grant, what would they be seeing? So the grant application includes at the top the mission of the HRIC, the mission also of the grant, which is, again, to lead an initiative or activity in Danvers to spread inclusivity and cultural awareness, and or support the mission of amplifying the voices of marginalized groups and or celebrating the identity of citizens in the community. What would be asked of an applicant? An applicant would describe the project or goal. The applicant would outline how the grant will fulfill the intentions above. And then importantly, how many people will be impacted by this work? I think that's an important piece to consider in a grant application. Also, what will be done to assess or reflect on the impact of the project or goal, and then any other information for the committee to consider. So an overview of what the application would look like for consideration. And that is it for now. So I don't know if there are any questions or comments, reactions.
Please, let's start out with Jorge.
No, sounds like excellent idea. I like the
Age.
Any age.
Hold on, Bill, we got it. We've got
Sorry.
a check.
No,
I
it's
check.
fine. Yeah, I like the micro grant or the mini grant idea. It's good.
Go ahead, Karen.
Thank you to you and to Dr. Desmond for giving this so much thought. Just a couple of questions. One is, have you thought about what we as a committee granting this money would request of the grantee in terms of naming HRIC as one like the funder of the effort or one of several funders of the effort? That's first question.
Yeah, and I think that could be better articulated. And I think that was the intention of like describing how the grant will fulfill the intentions of the committee. But I think it would be important to articulate exactly how the message would be conveyed through however they were using the grant funds.
Right.
Yeah, I
So-
think that would be an important addition.
Whether from naming the HRIC as a sponsor or a funder too, it could be more extensive. And then in terms of anybody that might be currently serving on the HRIC or an elected office in town, if they were interested in it either individually or collectively as part of a group applying for this grant, have you given any thought about sort of other seats that people sit in other than kind of as a private citizen? And
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I mean, I haven't thought that through enough, but I think it would be really important to have this grant come from outside those of us that sit in these seats, because ultimately that is the purpose of this
Right.
grant, is the extension outward, to see it come back. So I think there could be some language about that, in particular, about who you are as an applicant and what that means and what the implications are.
yeah, thank you.
Very good. Very good question. Johan.
okay, thank you. Sounds awesome. Yeah.
William? Well, what we're going to do then, what we plan to do, I think Sarah's on board with this, we had talked before. You all have or should have a copy of the grant as Sarah presented it. And we're going to give you an opportunity to respond to us through Sarah and Charles. Any suggestions similar to what Karen just mentioned within a 2-week period. All right? And we will, after the 2-week period, so we would like you to, oh boy, let's see, I think I wanted to say, get back to us in writing by June 2nd. That'll give you a little over 2 weeks. Put anything down on paper. We will certainly look at everything and try to finish it up so that it's a final proposal and bring it to you at our final meeting in June, which I have to tell you right now is a problem because our next scheduled meeting is Juneteenth, unfortunately. So we're going to have to look for a place, time, and day to do it, and we'll do the best we can. But I'll get it out to all of you so that we can maybe we'll end up meeting here or at the police station or who knows where. Okay. I hope not on Zoom though, not after the last experience. So anyway, that's where we are. So by June 2nd, I would hope that we will have heard from anyone who has questions or suggestions, and then we will try to insert everything that we think we can. And of course, we're still going to be up for a little discussion when we meet finally and approve this, because I think this is a real good step forward. I really do. We can open it up to a lot of organizations perhaps in town that are like us, seeking help, maybe even in the school system. There could be issues. DEEP has done that for years, too. I'm not sure how broad their financial donation was, but they've done that for years. So,
I have one question. How many, do you have a limit on how many of these are available? Is it based on amount of funding or?
It would be based on the amount of funding, and there still needs to be some discussion around that amount, maximum amount. And I think perhaps by
Okay.
June 2nd, we could have a conclusion, because then that would inform how many were available,
yeah.
depending on how much is offered per grant.
Basically, the funds will always come out of Friends. So, it's like anything we do, we're always working out of one group, other than if we were to get a grant from someone. That could be possibility. I didn't even think of that until just now. but-
Cultural Council.
Yeah, so, we're not in the business of trying to hoard the money. So we will want to give it out to, I would think, someone very much in need of it. But depending how much, we'll have to decide. Any other questions? Okay, I think we can go to new business now. I had new business that I think I just mentioned, the meeting. We're going to have to work for a meeting in June, and I will get available dates, find out from Town Hall what's available, and I will keep in touch with Lieutenant Sullivan if we are able to use the meeting room at the police station around the middle to the end of June.
I have your sheet here, and I know you have some notes written, so
Oh, boy.
I've taken that. But one of the things also says request new select board liaison.
Yes, I will get in touch with the new chair and ask that they offer us a liaison. Any questions? I think it's in line because David's retired. And I think that's it for me. Anybody else have any new business that they'd like to bring up? Karen, Jorge, Joanne, Sarah?
This isn't necessarily new business, but just an announcement, or hopefully sharing of information. I had a great opportunity to be adjacently associated with a recent webinar that was run by attorney generals across Massachusetts, California, Illinois, and Nevada. And the title was Defending DEIA in the Face of Fear and Federal Threats. And it came with a whole lot of really excellent resources, but I'd like to read you some messaging that was put forth in this webinar. What was discussed was the legal status of DEIA, The fact that DEIA policies remain fully lawful under U.S. Constitution, the Civil Rights Act of 1964, Title IX, the ADA, and strong state-level protections. They went on to talk about federal executive orders being misused, fear-based messaging being the strategy, and there are attorney generals taking action, which to me was quite encouraging. And they are having a United in Justice town hall. It's actually tomorrow evening. And anyone is free to register. It's open from the public. But it's to hear from New England attorneys general as they continue pushing back against federal overreach and understanding what's happening. There's also some QR codes that will take you to different types of resources, multi-state resources for businesses, K-12, and higher education, which I thought were also really handy. So I just wanted to share that.
Thank you very much. Any other new business? With that,
Could I just ask, Sarah, is that something that you could distribute to the committee
Absolutely.
on
I
email?
can share the email.
Awesome, thank you.
anything else? I'll hear a motion for the adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. Good night, Danvers.